This is the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose, where I strategize with business owners on how to grow and scale their businesses to hit their income goals. This is episode 197 of the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose. Today, we're going to talk about how to prioritize tasks. And I know that this is a question that a lot of us have in our mind right now. So I'm recording this and it is end of August. It's actually August 31st. This won't come out till the middle of August though. And I'm pretty certain that everything that we're going to talk about is definitely still going to be valid. So for those that are maybe listening back to this and listening in the archives, not listening real time, this is during COVID. My daughters started going back to school August 17th. So we have been 2 weeks into trying to figure out what it is going to look like in our days as far as the girls going to school, me working from home, having to be mom, having to be teacher, and of course, also running a business. And I know many of you are in the same position. And I first want to tell you that it's okay to feel overwhelmed. I get it. I've had my days of crying in the corner and losing my patience and getting frustrated with my kids when it's absolutely not their fault. But what we have to do is we have to be able to prioritize our tasks, which is why today's topic is going to be so relevant. I continually have clients that will come to me and ask this very question. There's so many things that are on our plates. There's so many tasks that we take on that it's hard for us to know which ones are going to drive our business forward the fastest. So that's why I really feel that it is so important to talk about this. It's often one of the best things that you can do when it comes to prioritizing these tasks is having someone else to talk to this about, whether it's an accountability partner, a coach, a mastermind group, whatever that may look like for you. If you don't have any of these things, find one. I offer one-on-one services. I do facilitated masterminds. I would love to help you with this, but you need to have someone as a sounding board and then someone to hold you accountable to get those tasks done. And that's exactly what my programs offer. So if you are looking for someone to really guide you personally one-on-one through that, or within a group of mastermind people, I would love for you to reach out and join in with us, fill out an application, and we'd love to get you into one of the programs that would fit you best. We would book you a discovery call and figure that out so that we can help you move forward. Okay, so let's start off by talking about how we can really make sure that we are going to be prioritizing our tasks. Now, the way that this needs to start is the first thing I would recommend doing is writing down all of the things that you have to get done throughout the day. And I'm not just telling you to write down all of the business tasks. You also need to write down the mom tasks, and for some of you, the teacher tasks. Because no matter what it is that you're teaching, the education of your children looks like right now, for many of us right now, as women and as mothers, we are seeing that the education of our children is falling onto our shoulders, whether we are former teachers or not. And because of that, we need to have strategies. We need to have these tasks and understand how they can possibly fit into our day. So what I really want you to do is I want you to divide this up. It is the best way I can explain it is someone was saying to me over this weekend that, we should just, send all the kids back and it's going to be fine. But unfortunately, that's not the solution right now. We can't do that. And for some of you in different states and different counties within the same state, you might be seeing higher rates of results as far as COVID. So now we're not going to get into any of the politics of this, but I really want you to do is create 3 categories for yourself. So you're going to have a mom category, you're going to have the teacher category, and you're also going to have the business category. Now, as the mom, you're taking care of the house, you're feeding your children, you are parenting. What are the tasks that you need to do daily on that side of things for yourself? So for me, it is laundry falls onto my shoulders. It also is, of course, making sure that lunches get made whenever Riley isn't around to help out with that, especially for the little one. So taking a look at some of the tasks that you have as a mom and those parenting tasks as well, as far as getting the kids to help with chores and being able to take some of those things that maybe you are doing too much, depending upon the age of your children. The next task is going to be that teacher task, because yes, you are a teacher at this point, more than likely. Whether that is simply you're just doing the homework when the kids are coming home from school because maybe your kids are able to go in 5 days a week, or if you are having to do 20 minutes of reading in the math lesson and making sure that they're getting onto their calls and then actually making sure that they are following through and getting their work done. So what does that look like? What are the things that you need to do? And you're more than likely going to need to make sure that you organize these things. I know that for a lot of you that maybe your children are being taught virtual, there's all sorts of links to Zoom and Canvas and whatever materials you are using in order for your children to get educated at this time. Make it a simple place that you can get to in order to do it. So bookmark them. We are tech people. We use computers all day long. We need to know how to make these things simple for ourselves. So bookmark those links. Make sure you show your child where they are and how to get to them. I know some of you have kindergartners and this seems like an overwhelming task, but you have to be able to try to get them to know where to find things and to make it as simple as possible for yourself. So do that list of things of what the day looks like. Even map out your times. If you have scheduled Zoom calls with depending upon your child, what time those teachers are meeting with them, schedule that out. Does that also include work? So now when the teacher is teaching, maybe you're not necessarily having to be on. Maybe you're needing to make sure your kindergartner isn't laying upside down in the chair, but you're not necessarily the one that has to teach that lesson. So now when they come off and have to do their work, are they able to do it? Do you have to self-correct them? Do you need to let them know, hey, let's finish this up and then we'll be able to go play and do whatever it is that we want. So schedule that as one of your tasks that you do have to do right now. Now, the next piece is going to be your business task, taking a look at the things in your business that you have to get done, whether that is photography, creating content, doing the social media, putting out the marketing, doing the emails, all of it that goes into it. I know that you guys wear a lot of hats. But what I want you to do is just write all those tasks out. And we need to try to figure out what we're going to do is we're going to prioritize each of these 3 categories. How can we prioritize and figure out what is going to work best? Now, one of the ways that helps me prioritize is I also make a schedule when I'm doing this. And I am going to put those tasks right into my day. So for me, I am not as good and back to my morning routine as I was pre-COVID, but I'm starting to try to. I know that one of the things that I need to prioritize is my health, my mental health, my physical health. So for me, it starts with a workout. I make sure that I am getting up and having enough time before any calls, before having to run the kids wherever they need to go to, so that I can have that time to take self-care for myself, work out, feel comfortable in my own skin, and also have the energy that I need to in order to get through the day with patience and grace, which doesn't always happen. We all know that. We have our days, right? So going through and figuring out for yourself, how are you going to prioritize your day? I would take a look how you have all these tasks written down in these 3 different categories. I want you to then look at your day and the hours that you have. And as a former teacher, I loved my calendar that would let me actually schedule everything minute by minute if necessary. For me, I often will schedule things every 15 minutes. So if you look in my planner, the more it says second I get up, what does that look like? Am I drinking my coffee for 15 minutes and then getting ready to work out and starting that part of my morning and then moving into the tasks of being the mom, making sure the kids have the breakfast. I'm throwing on a load of laundry. I am then getting to my desk and making sure that I know exactly what task I'm going to do. I am not going to waste scrolling 15 minutes on Facebook. You do not have the time for that. So now when we look at the other tasks that we need to prioritize for our business, you need to prioritize based on what is going to bring you the most income the fastest. Now, this is often where people get kind of held up because they'll think, well, if I get more page views, then that will result in more income, which is very likely true. But also, couldn't a new product or new service result in more income? Think about the things that you have kind of brewing. What projects do you have in mind? What services were you thinking of offering? Are you looking just to focus on your page views and therefore make your money via ads? You need to decide what is going to work best for you in your business model, but at the same time, you want to make sure that it is based on monetization. So if you are wasting time going in and out of Pinterest and not really knowing whether or not that is actually benefiting you, is the time that you're putting in to scheduling and Tailwind actually going to result in the page views for you? You have to track those numbers. You have to know that. Are you wasting time going into Facebook groups and interacting with people, but not seeing a direct correlation in income? One of the questions I will often get asked is, what's the value of a podcast, Jenny? Can you prove that the podcast for you was valuable? And for a long time, it was hard for me to know that there was a true correlation. But as time has gone on, I know that the podcast is the way in which I am getting into your ears. Many of you, when we could meet in person, would come up to me and talk to me like you have known me for years because you felt like you knew me because you were so used to my voice being in your ears via the podcast. I'm able to share valuable content and then I'm able to use it in different ways so that it becomes part of the marketing in what I do. I will create a podcast. There's also a blog post that goes along with it that is keyword researched to make sure that it will actually come up when people are searching for these things in Google. I'm then going to use the content from the podcast, whether it is an audio soundbite or whether it is just a statement from within it, to then share on social media so that I have the marketing behind that. You have to start thinking about the things that I'm doing. Can they result in direct income? Can I use them in more than one way? I see a lot of people right now that are going through and they're doing Instagram Reels, which is fabulous. If your goal, though, is not to grow your Instagram following because you don't ever want to work on sponsored content, so you're following and you're not really ever going to stay on Instagram and be active because you feel like it's not working for you and your audience, then why in the world are you wasting time in creating Instagram Reels just to grow a following that you're never going to use? You have to take a look at what your goals are. Take a look within your business and know what you're going to be able to move and how you're going to move forward with it.
Whether you're a seasoned podcaster or just thinking of starting a podcast, you need to listen to Buzzcast from the folks at Buzzsprout. Here we go! Buzzcast covers everything a podcaster should know, from marketing strategies and how to make money from your podcast to the latest and greatest tech and industry insights to keep you on the cutting edge. Follow Buzzcast by clicking the link in the description or go to buzzcast.buzzsprout.com and keep podcasting.
So you've taken a look at these tasks now. You're tried to see if you can connect it to income. I also want you to see if you can connect it to making it so that it becomes more than one task that you're kind of knocking off for yourself, like the podcast example. That became my social media post. That became my blog content. That became the way that people were finding me in Google, and it's part of my marketing for my email. So it is a valuable piece that actually I'm not reinventing the wheel every time. Instead, I'm taking that content and giving more opportunity for people to find me and the services and products that I offer. So think about, what is it that you're creating? Are you making sure that it can be found in multiple places? Don't just create a podcast and talk about topics that no one is searching for. You have to do your keyword research. If you're not familiar with that, make sure that you go back to our episode where we talked to Ty Gilgore about keyword research. You want to make sure that you are doing the marketing side that is connected to building your list and growing your people if you have service or products. So really trying to weigh in. I like to look at my business tasks and take a look. And if I were to put them on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being it's going to bring me income probably that I'm going to be able to see the fastest. For example, my course Pitch Perfect Pro. or my Instagram audits that I offer. That is a direct correlation to the income that can be made by me marketing that and having those products and services that I offer. So those will often be the content that I'm going to make sure gets promoted or talked about because there is a direct correlation. That would be a 5 for me. Whereas creating something just for Facebook where it's related to a new podcast episode that, sure, I'm going to try to grow the podcast, but at the same time, it's gotta then tie in also to a product. I'm never going to do anything that doesn't connect to other things. There has to be a purpose. You have to have an overall vision of what you're looking to do. Now, when you're looking at your schedule, you've prioritized these business tasks. You've taken a look at the tasks that you have to do as a mom and also as a teacher. Now is where I need you to sit with it. And I need you to be realistic with the amount of time that you have in the day. You need to know how much it takes time-wise for you. How long does it take you to do your photography? If it's taking you 6 hours, you need to speed it up. You need to find a way to start to cut some corners. We got to figure out ways to give us more time in our days. So looking at those tasks and trying to figure out how much does each task take so that you can plug it into your schedule of your day and what your day is going to look like. Now, if you're looking at some of these tasks and going, holy crap, how do I have enough time to do all this? And I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, and I'm going to need to run my business and look at these lists of tasks I have for my business, then you need to take a look and see, is there something that you can possibly offer out to someone else? In other words, could you hire a VA to take over some of these tasks? Is it going to be valuable to you to do that? Now, a lot of people, I will often get pushback on this and they'll say, oh, I'm not ready. There's not enough income coming in, blah, 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 blah. And I can't have a direct correlation. Here's the direct correlation that you get by offering out to VAs to have a virtual assistant coming in and doing some of these menial tasks. If you could be working on a project, a product, a course, a service that you're going to have a direct money exchange, and they're going to do the marketing of the Facebook, of creating the Facebook content and the Pinterest pins and whatever else, then they're taking on a task that would suck up the time that you would have had for that product or service. So by hiring that out, you're getting to the end game much faster. That is also what coaching and masterminds and putting down money to improve your business and know which way you are trying to go in it. When you sign up for a coaching program or you get involved in a paid mastermind, you're putting money towards getting your goals and hitting them faster. I have clients that came to me that didn't even have a site in the beginning, really wasn't sure what they were going to do and what it was going to look like. They knew they had a product that they wanted to sell at the end. And within 4 months, they are further along than bloggers that I have seen working on their blog for 10 years. Because they know the exact steps to take. They're not just going in the wind and choosing who they're going to listen to and trying something and then saying it doesn't work after trying it once. If you truly want to continue to move your business forward, not only do you need to prioritize these tasks, but you need to decide where you're going to put your money and where you're going to actually be able to move yourself forward and have money to be able to help yourself grow and continue to grow. It is an investment. It's an investment into your business, and that's the way that you are going to get there faster. So, as you are going through and prioritizing these tasks, again, make those lists. And if you have other roles, maybe you are a grandmother or a caretaker for your elderly parents, that needs to be a list that is included in here and the tasks that are included in that. You're at a different stage in your life. There are different things that you need to do, and you need to be able to put those in. The last thing that I want to say along this when it comes to prioritizing tasks is you need to make sure that you give yourself some grace. Understand that you're not going to be able to pick the perfect way to do all these things right out of the gate. You're going to have to shift. You're going to have to pivot. You're going to find that maybe one day you're doing a reading lesson and it takes your child 10 minutes, but the next day it takes them 55 because they're off. And instead of getting frustrated, we have to be able able to be flexible. We have to understand that this is a time in our lives, and I've talked to many of you about this that have come to me that have toddlers or that have newborns that are at home, and they'll say to me, I'm so frustrated because I just don't have the time I thought I was going to have. This is your path. This is part of our path. We need to be able to take the time to make sure we are in line with what we are trying to do. Why are you trying to grow that business? Was the purpose of growing your business so that you got time back with your kids? Guys, you have that time right now with your kids. If you have to take it a little bit slower to get to the end game of where you see yourself, you need to do that. You also not only need to prioritize the task, but you need to prioritize your values, what it is that you want out of this life. One of my very closest friends is brilliant, a brilliant graphic designer, is an amazing yoga teacher. And she has always said to me, I know I can have a business, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to prioritize my children for now. While she still had one that was home. And now, of course, they're all home because they're virtual learning. But the little one would have started kindergarten this week. She has said, I'm prioritizing this time because I'm never going to get this time back. Now, for some of you, that's not maybe how you want to be. That's not how you feel fulfilled as a woman, as a mother, as a friend. Maybe that doesn't fill your cup to be home and to make sure that you drop everything and don't pursue anything else for yourself. There's no wrong or right answer. I just need you to make sure that if you feel yourself getting frustrated and feeling like you're feeling and feeling depressed and not happy in the life that you're creating for yourself, take a step back and make sure that not only have you prioritized the tasks that are going to move you forward, but you have to prioritize your values in this life. I appreciate you all so much for listening in. I really hope that you will take the time to sit down and write out these different tasks in the different categories that you are taking on the different roles in your life right now. If you are looking for someone to help you get through, prioritize, and continue to move your business forward because you have that time and that can invest that money in order to do that, I would love to have you book a discovery call, fill out an application, and we will get on a call and see how I can possibly help you move your business forward. I know that for me, investing in a coach was one of the best things I did because I was able to prioritize quicker. I moved so much faster during that time than I did when I was without one. So make sure that if you are listening in, if you are a normal podcast listener, I would love it if you haven't already to leave a rating and review on your favorite podcasting app. You can also send me a message on Instagram. I'd love to see a screenshot of you listening into the podcast. And if you have a question about the episode or a question about the products and services that I offer, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on DM on Instagram at Jenny_Melrose. All right, guys, until next time, I will see you all then.